Greetings and salutations, this is Brian from MechBladeStudios. Today is my birthday, and every time that rolls around, I'll be looking at a piece of media that can be considered one of my favorites. From the anime category, one of these favorites is Puella Magi Madoka Magica. The small portion of people that don't know what this is probably going, how much of a weeaboo can you be? Look at this, magical girls, what is this? The larger portion that knows exactly what this is are probably already getting ahead of themselves with the memes. Puella Magi Madoka Magica is an anime about a girl named Madoka Kaname that encounters a cat bunny thing called Kyubey that offers to grant any wish in exchange for making a contract to become a magical girl to fight witches. A mysterious magical girl named Homura Akemi shows up and tells Madoka not to accept this offer. It ran from January 7th to April 21st, 2011. That is the best I can do without spoilers. Overall, I give the show a 10 out of 10. Man, that was a short review, huh? Well, that's because I'm not going to technically review it. If you know already that this is one of my favorite shows, favorite enough for me to get the physical release, and a critically acclaimed show, why would I just gush about it under the guise of a review when I could just list why I love the show so much? This is the top 10 things I love about Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Oh, and spoilers ahead. Watch the show first! The hilarious meta-narrative that was the show's production. While this is on the cusp of having to do with the show's content, I had to put this in somewhere. It all started when the writer was revealed, none other than our pal Gen Urobuchi. After the anime fandom gave a resounding, "Oh crap!" Urobuchi trolled everyone by insisting that this show will be fun and innocent. The director, Akiyuki Shinbo, asked Urobuchi to make the show as violent and dark as possible, which is delivered on so hard that Shinbo tried to backpedal and get him to save some of the characters. He of course declined. The voice actresses, even this asshole's voice actress, broke down crying as they read the script. Personally speaking, this was the third show of his I watched, the first one being Kamen Rider Gaim, which I can't review, the second being Psycho-Pass, and all of this was in 2015. I was braced during the first two episodes, but everything afterwards still got me. We'll get into specifics of what that means later. The animation. The animation for this show is iconic. The character designs are bright and colorful and always match the wishes the girls make. The landscapes are creative and weird, being vaguely futuristic or even dreamlike at times. The real standout moments are the labyrinth. Dear Lord, the labyrinths. Crazy, nightmarish hellscapes that defy comprehension. Unnerving still are the witches that inhabit them. I can't even tell where a good chunk of them begin or end. The fact that witches are the personifications of pain, wrath, and suffering, the animators really got that across. Even moments that are clearly exposition have very neat ways of showing something during the info dump. Kyoko's backstory is no simple flashback, it's a twisted, melancholic paper doll diorama. The history of magical girls is even demonstrated via Kyubey force-feeding the information to poor Madoka. Speaking of... that bastard Kyubey. To the few of you that didn't heed my warning and just watched this anyway, you'll know that this thing is the main antagonist. Besides Valpurgis Knockbutt, she's more of a disaster than a character. The curious thing about Kyubey and his species, the incubators, is that he's not exactly mwahahaha evil over the cool stuff that happens to the magical girls. The system of magical girls and witches was put in place by the incubators to prevent the heat death of the universe via entropy. That doesn't exactly justify putting middle to high schoolers in danger, turning them into zombies, or turning them into what they had to fight in the first place. All this clearly makes Kyubey a total bastard, but what really hammers it home is how he sees absolutely nothing wrong with this. He sees magical girls the same way humans see livestock, something to be harvested. Again, not out of insanity or malice, but because his race has no emotions. In fact, he had this to say about the subject.
You see, in our society, the phenomenon you call emotion is considered a mental disorder.
That's creepy. That and the happy, jovial tone he always has no matter what he's talking about.
So, if you ever feel like dying for the sake of the universe, call me. I'll be waiting.
He actually sounds kind of familiar. What else did his VA do?
I'm in love with my brother.
Damn it, Kyubey! He's a microcosm of the whole show. Looks cute and innocent, but upon closer inspection, he's screwed up beyond belief. The rewatch bonuses. Madoka Magica is one of those shows that every time you watch it, you'll notice something new, whether it be something in the background, a line of dialogue, or even a realization of what something really meant. Wait, if the way soul gems are handled means magical girls are invincible unless he gets destroyed, how did Mammy... Oh. Well then.
And I guess you've seen lots of people die horribly, haven't you? I have.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Actually, most of these bonus lines have something to do with Homura given her time control powers. A few notable details include how Sayaka's labyrinth is themed to music because Kyosuke is a musician, and you can even see very Hitomi-like familiars. See this weird writing? It all actually says something if you can pause the show and translate it all. Listing more than that here would just spoil all the other neat details. A real quick entry, but one I had to add. The themes. If I were to describe the show as quickly as possible, and if the person I was talking to already saw it and wouldn't fall for the "it's about magical girls" line, I'd probably say it's Faust, but it's nearly impossible to outwit Mephistopheles. We've seen shows where wishes don't end well, but Madoka Magica is probably the hardest I've ever seen wishes backfire. The intentions and ethics of wishes is debated quite a bit in the show, and everyone except Madoka regrets their decisions sooner or later. Making a wish on another's behalf for the wrong reason can leave you miserable or make said person angry. Here, these sorts of wishes have severe consequences because it seems that nobody made truly selfless wishes because such wishes don't exist, for the most part. Sayaka's is the easiest example to point to. She wished for Kyosuke's recovery not simply out of wanting to help, but because she liked him and wanted him to notice her. As such, karmic destiny made it so he ignores her and goes out with Hitomi instead. Madoka almost wished to become a magical girl on a whim because her mother lives in a similar way.
Sure, the hours are long and she's under a lot of stress most of the time, but she loves the challenge she gets by overcoming it.
Her final wish only worked out because not only is it selfless, but Madoka knew the consequences, an eternity of fighting witches, going in. I could go on for hours about the themes, like how Christianity and Buddhism fit in every magical girl moment that gets twisted, but there's one specific theme that I'll get into in a later entry. The soundtrack. Yuki Kajiura's score and inserts are absolutely amazing. It runs the gamut from mysterious to haunting to soothing to menacing. Greetings Justidium, says Puella Magica, Discretum, Cubiculum Album, the list goes on. All of these tracks are amazing. As for OPs and EDs, Clarice's Connect is deceptively happy. It's upbeat and adds to the illusion that this is just standard magical girl fare, but looking at the lyrics, it actually takes place from Homura's perspective. The absolute best song is the second true ED, Magia by Calafina. It's a powerful, driving tune that appears after the infamous episode 3 and every other episode after except one, like it's saying, "Welcome to the real show." I obviously can't play too much of it here, but here's a link for it. The first ED, Mata Ashita, fulfills the same purpose that Connect does, but the one episode third ED, And I'm Home, is a bittersweet piece about Kyoko and Sayaka that I think is very underrated. This is easily one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in anything I've ever seen or played. The spiral and the unbelievable feat that was a happy ending. You start with the upbeat, happy-ish OP, spend 2 1/3 episodes watching normal magical girl material with a creepy background or two, but then Mamie lost her cool. And her head. Whatever, Sayaka understood the risk and became a magical girl anyway. Oh, she and Kyoko are fighting. Aggressively at that. Madoka's peacekeeping measure will help, right? I mean, sort of, in a soul gems are literally soul sense. That's an interesting way to look at morphers, I guess. Sayaka's soul gem's not looking too good, oh boy. She'll get turned back, right? No. And we lose Kyoko in the process, too. Oh, we finally get to learn more about Homura. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, boy. Yeah, grab the alcohol. Stronger the better. Kyubei's been screwing over magical girls for centuries. God, this is sad. Madoka wishes for the end of suffering, and it happens and all is right with the world. No. It doesn't pop out of nowhere, but it's the one theme of the show I think it portrays the best. Never give up hope. No matter how crappy things can get, a better tomorrow can be in your hands with enough hope and effort. That's why I like the darkness here so much. Not so much for its own sake, but for the fact that these are nigh insurmountable obstacles and challenges brought before our characters, but they're eventually overcome. It's this journey that gives the suffering and death meaning. Did I say characters a little while ago? There's a segue if I ever saw one. The characters. For a show where Urobuchi claimed he wrote the characters to fulfill specific purposes instead of being fleshed out on their own, they're rather fleshed out. Everyone has a clear, relatable motivation. Sayaka wants to be a hero and help others, but becomes salty and depressed when her underlying selfish reasoning for her wish goes wrong, resulting in this horrifying train scene and the final reveal of the witch cycle. Kyoko, despite starting out as a rather nasty character, softened up when she realized that she and Sayaka were not so different from each other. They both wished for selfless things, or supposedly selfish things at that. And they also are both husks that carry around their souls in a gem. Madoka herself has learned the right balance between being passive and active to find a purpose in life and a reason for said purpose, not just because why not or so I'll be special. Homura, well, we'll get to her. Even Mami's short screen time gave her a moment to tell us that her coolness is just a facade. She suffered alone because she had nobody she could really vent to about her job. For characters designed to be sacrificed, they really draw you in and make you feel for them when they eventually bite it, even if it wasn't intentional. This scene. If you've made it this far without watching the damn show, then at least me telling you about this scene right here means you can actually watch the best moment of the whole thing. As I alluded to earlier, a giant powerful witch called Walpurgis Nacht appears and wrecks the city, killing nearly everyone that tries to fight it, Madoka included. Homura here goes back in time to try to save Madoka from this fate. This was her second on-screen attempt. Homura and Madoka somehow managed to destroy Walpurgis Nacht, but they've used so much magic that they're about to turn into witches at any minute and have no grief seeds to purify their soul gems. Homura's just about to say, screw it, we've suffered anyway, let's make others suffer in return. But Madoka hid one last grief seed, Sayaka's to be exact, to save Homura and allow her to go back in time to try again, this time to keep Madoka from becoming a magical girl in the first place. Madoka's justification?
There's awful, horrible things in this world. I know that now. But there's a lot of things worth protecting too.
And as the last shot to the heart, think that's bad? Listen to the Japanese dub. I legit had a bit to drink after that on my first viewing. Don't do that until you're 21. It's not every day a show, game, or film hits me that hard. That's why this scene is so high up on the list. Homura Akemi. Arguably the true protagonist of the show, Homura Akemi is one of the most fascinating, well-rounded characters I've ever seen. Most of the rewatch bonuses revolve around her as she foreshadows what she's been really going through instead of being just the resident edgelord. Her focus episode completely transformed the show from a very dark take on magical girls into a story of love, devotion, borderline obsession, but most of all, perseverance and hope. In a way, she started out like Madoka, unremarkable and weak, but her mission to save Madoka has hardened her into a better fighter. Her gimmick is time manipulation, which even comes with a way to store conventional weapons, which she went with because she wasn't proficient at melee combat. She's no angel either. Her multiple attempts, nearly 100 according to Orobuchi, have made her forget to try to save the other girls, usually only half-heartedly trying to change their fate, or just saying to their face that she doesn't give a shit unless it pertains to Madoka. That stare of hers isn't your normal edgy stare. That's a 1,000-yard stare. That's a stare of trauma and fatigue. The more time she loads to save, she makes Madoka into an even more powerful witch. If she stops, she turns into a witch herself. Even though Madoka managed to wish witches out of all of existence, she has to disappear and become a concept, meaning Homura still failed to save her. Being Maguka is suffering, being Homura is suffering. But on the bright side, being Homura is being number one on this list. Until Rebellion anyway. So that's it for me for now. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my list? Would you reorder or modify it? How would you do so? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like and subscribe for more reviews of anime, video games, and movies. Also, hit that bell icon so you know exactly when a new video goes up. Thanks for watching. And one last thing, watch the damn show! This is Brian from MechBladeStudios, signing off.